My dear friends, today is the feast day of St. Thomas. More often we label him as the doubting Thomas, which is not theological, because we cannot label him as the doubting Thomas. No, Bible does not say he does not name him as the doubting Thomas. No, he's called most of the time Thomas the twin, one of the 12. In John Gospel, 3 times it is said he's the twin. Definitely he could have had a twin brother or sister. Sometimes he had this inner disposition where always he questioned, which is not negative, isn't it? Because when something is not clear, you question. And you don't question from every Tom, Dick and Harry. If you're scared, you don't ask questions. And if you are scared of the person, Bible says they were scared to ask questions from the Lord. But then Thomas is a character who said, Lord, how do you know where you are going? Because we don't know the way. In John chapter 14. Then Jesus said, I'm the truth and the way and life. So this revelation came with a question, isn't it? So this questioning is not negative. So we cannot say that he is doubting Thomas. For that matter, all the disciples doubted the Lord until they saw him. Until they saw him. Rather, Thomas said, despite Thomas was with them, and he said, I will not believe until I have seen in his the nails and my hand in his side. Until I have seen in his hands the prints of the nails, and put my finger in the mark of the nails and my hand in his side, I will not believe. So rather, he was doubting not the Lord. He was doubting the disciples, whether they would tell the truth, isn't it? And he could have asked for another proof without the wounds. Why the wounds? The other hand, it's a mark of love. It's a mark of love. For that matter, in John chapter 20, verse 19 onwards, when Jesus appeared to the disciples, apart from John, apart from St. Thomas, he showed his wounds, isn't it? And Thomas was not there with them. Why? Maybe he's more heartbroken. He's more heartbroken. He could not bear it. It was too hard for him. And he went away from the flock, the crowd, the disciples. And it's important, my dear friends, that even though they are broken, God has chosen them with a purpose. The first reading says, you are of the household of God. You are the house whose foundation are the apostles and prophets, and whose cornerstone is Christ Jesus. In him the whole structure is joined together and raised to be a holy temple in the Lord. In him you are too being built to become a spiritual sanctuary of God. So Jesus is the cornerstone, and these are the bricks. These are the pillars, disciples. So it should build the community, not in isolation. When you are gone away, Jesus could have appeared to St. Thomas in the place where he was alone. But then Jesus waited until the 8th day, isn't it? Until he come to the flock. Then only he spoke to him. On the other hand, everyone, our Lord is the shepherd who went after the lost sheep. He waited 8 days until he comes back. And then, yet though he Though Thomas could not see him, Jesus saw him. And Jesus heard his struggle. He saw it. And exactly, he showed his hands, wounds, and asked him to put his hand to the side and believe without doubting. Because all the others saw it and believed. But the word does not say that he touched the wounds. No. We can presume that. But rather the word does not betray that. But then he said, "My Lord, my God." This is the most profound statement in the Bible regarding the risen Lord. Adonai, my Lord, my God. And this profound statement came from the lips of St. Thomas. And see the beauty of it, the doubt, the questioning has opened another realm of a theology, a teaching, a revelation. My dear friends, what is important? What he did after that. He had doubts. He questioned the Lord. But because he was so close to him, and he wanted to know how much he loves, his love, Jesus' love was manifested through the wounds. The wounds show how much he loved. And also, the wounds show how the price is paid, the ransom is covered with the wounds only. And St. Thomas believed it. And he said, "My Lord and my God." My dear friends, Thomas had this charism even to go and die with Jesus. That's why in John chapter 11, when Lazarus was sick, they were about to go to Bethany, a city, a village which is close to Jerusalem. Jerusalem was awaiting his coming for him to be persecuted. So that's exactly when St. Thomas said, "We will go with him even to die." This was the charism of St. Thomas. And exactly he did that, my dear friends. He was just not covering up. He was not just showing something else. No, he just spoke his heart out, and he manifested his struggle, difficulty, the hurt feeling. And Jesus healed him completely. And he became a great missionary. He came up to India and he preached the gospel. Whole Asia, because of him. And he was persecuted there. From there, the body was taken to the Europe again. That's because of why 3rd of July was his feast. And my dear friends, it's not the question, it's not the doubt. What is important? What comes out of it? What comes out from the struggle? Jesus says, "Blessed are you believe because you have not, you see me, don't you? Happy are those who have not seen and believe." We think that it's me and you, isn't it? That we have not seen him. But then, even today, he manifests in different ways, in faith, in miracles, in our feelings, emotions. He intervenes in our lives. But then, if you can believe, even in your desert, if you can believe him even in your struggle, where you can't feel him either, then happy those who believe like that. And just believe and have clear all your doubts with the Lord. Ask him questions. Open your heart out. What is important? What you get from that. Get to the right proper of that charism to give your life completely for the Lord. Sacrifice it. Think about it. Have a nice day. May God bless you.